able to see the screen which I want to share. Yeah. You're able to see my screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Now we are.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So, we will discuss this verse. It is from the Bhagavad Gita. The chapter entitles The Divine and the Demonic Qualities. So, we are discussing the verse 21. So, please recite after me. Trividam narake desham Twaram nashanam atmanah Kama krodhastata lobhas Tasmadetattrayam tajet Trividham narakaseyam Dwaram nashanam atmana Kama krodhastata lobhas Tasmadetattrayam tajet Trividham narakasedyam Dwaram nashanam atmana Kama krodhastata lobhas Tasmadetattrayam tajet Anybody would like to recite the verse?
Trividham narakasyetham
Trividham
Dvaram nashanam atmanah
nashanam atmanah
Kama krodhastatha lobhas
Kama krodhastatha lobhas
Tasmad etatrayam tajet
Tasmadetattrayam tajet
त्रिविधं का दात्वा करो
Narakasedyam
नारकसदिदं इदं
Trividham narakasedyam
दारं
Nashanam
नाशनम् आत्मकं
Dwaram nashanam atmanah
कामः क्रोधः तथा लोभः
Kama krodhastatha lobhas
तस्मात् एतत् सम्भव तजेत्
Tasmadetattrayam tajet
त्रिविधं नरकाच्छेदं
Trividham narakasyetham
द्वारं नाशनमात्मनः
nashanam atmanah
कामक्रोधस्तथा लोभः तस्मादेतत्त्रयं त्यजेत्
Tasmadetattrayam tajet
Trividham narakashayadam
narakasyetham
dharam nashanam atmana
Dvaram nashanam
kama krodha tatha lobhas
Lobhas
tashmat etatrayam tajet
Tasmad etatrayam tajet
Okay, so we will recite word to word now. Trividham of three kinds.
Trividham of three kinds.
Narakasya of hell.
Narakasha of
Narakasya
hell.
hell.
Nradeva.
Idam,
Idam,
this.
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 Dwaram,
Dwaram,
Dwaram.
gate.
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 Nashanam,
Nashanam,
Nashana.
destructive.
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 Atmanaha,
Atmanaha,
of the self.
of the self.
Self.
Kamaha,
Kamaha,
Maha.
lust.
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 Krodha,
Krodha,
anger.
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 Tatha,
Tatha,
as well as.
as well as.
As well as
Lobha,
Lobha,
Love.
greed.
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 Tasmat,
Tasmat,
therefore.
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 Etat,
Etat,
these.
these.
the
Trayam,
Trayam,
three.
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 Sajayet,
Tajay,
Sajid.
one must give up.
one must give up.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The beginning of demonic life is described herein. One tries to satisfy his lust, and when he cannot, anger and greed arises. A sane man who does not want to glide down to the species of demonic life must try to give up these three enemies, which can kill the self to such an extent that there will be no possibility of liberation from this material entanglement. So, once again, the translation. How many gates to the hell? There are three gates to the hell. Krishna is describing lust, anger, and greed, and is advising that every sane man should give this up because they will have the soul degraded to the lower species of life. So, as you know, that we are almost at the end of the chapter of 16 chapter. So we'll just discuss about little bit the last chapter what we have discussed. So 15 chapter Krishna says that this material world, he has described this material world as a banyan, inverted banyan tree. And in this banyan tree, he has described that like there are the upper branches, the lower branches, and this tree, it is nourished by the material modes of nature. That is the in the material, this material nature is consist of the three modes of material nature. We all know goodness, passion, and ignorance, and we have discussed in detail in the 14th chapter all these material modes of nature. So when Krishna is describing that inverted banyan tree, is also describing that upper part of the branch and lower part of the branch. So how do you go to the upper branch of the tree and lower branch of the tree? So in this chapter, he is basically describing about the divine and demonic qualities, and we should know how to properly water this tree of the material nature, so that we know so that we can go up. We are not causing a degradation for our soul, and so that we perpetually come to the material world again and again, and that too in the lower species of life. So that is the connection between these two chapters. So there we should understand these qualities, divine and demonic, and Krishna tell about the divine and demonic quality, and he contrasts these qualities, and then he says that if you do this, this will happen. If you acquire demonic quality, this will happen. So let us see in summary what these 16 chapters talk about. So that for first three verses, if you remember, we have already discussed the first three verses. What does the first three verses describe us? They describe us the qualities. Which qualities they describe? Anyone remember the first three verses of the 16th chapter?
Pride,
Yeah, no, not pride. In general, what does the first three verses describe? So let me brief about that. So we are not discussing the verse, just the summary of this chapter. So first three verses describe the divine qualities. So 1 to 3 verses are all together clubbed, and Krishna is describing the divine qualities. or the people have the divine quality. And 4 to 9 verses describe about the demonic qualities. Please go on mute. I'm hearing some echo. And 4 to 9 verse describe the demonic qualities, and 10 to 18 verse describes people who are having this demonic qualities, what are their activities. So there are certain types of activities the people do, right? So based on their certain mode of nature is acting on them, they behave differently. So demonic activities has been described. And 19 to 22 verses, and from that we are discussing the 21 verse. What is the consequences and cause if you acquire the demonic qualities? So what is the consequences of showing the demonic activities or the qualities? And 23 to 25 verse describe the choice. The choice is yours, either you cultivate divinity or you cultivate the demonic nature. So that's what Krishna described in this chapter, the complete chapter. So here we have discussed, so Krishna is saying lust, greed and anger. So basically there is a metaphor used, as a metaphor used in the last chapter, inverted banyan tree. The similar metaphor analogy has been used. Basically there is no door, but door is something. What is the function of the door? So can anyone let me know what is the function of the door? What is the function of the door? We all use the doors, right? So what is the function of the door?
To go in and get out.
To open and let somebody in.
Yeah, so basically, rightly said, thank you. So basically, to go in and out, so or to open and close, or to, so basically, you are going from one place to another place. You are going out of your house, or you are coming to your house, or you are going to out of one room and going, inside the room, or going out of the room. So similarly, these door, if someone cultivates this lust, greed, and anger, these three qualities, then they are basically there is a door, and from their door they're gliding down to the lower species of life. Because if we cultivate that knowledge, there is a door open which will drag us down to the lower species of life. So rightly said. And now we'll discuss. So you remember, right, in the third chapter Krishna discuss all these things. So Krishna, what does Krishna says? So let us just go to that verse and discuss. So Kamesha Krodesha Rajoguna Samudbhava Mahashano Mahapapo Veti Enam Ehi Verinam. So Krishna says, what? Why does Krishna says this verse? Because Arjuna asked the previous question. He said in the third chapter, Krishna, what is that impel a person to act sinfully, even though unwillingly? What is that force that causes? So Krishna gives the answer in the 37 verse, where he says that it is the calm only, it is the lust only, Arjuna, which is born contact of with the material mode of passion. So this lust, why that lust is there? Because of the mode of material nature. So it is mode of material nature, that is specifically passion. So because of that passion, that lust arises, and then if that lust is not fulfilled, then it will transfer into the wrath. If it is fulfilled, then it will transfer into the greed. So Prabhupada also says in our current purport, it's a small purport, but Prabhupada says there that if the lust is fulfilled, it will be turned into greed, and if lust is not fulfilled, it will be turned into wrath or anger. And Krishna also says in this verse that it is the all devouring sinful enemy of this world. So that's what he says. So it is all devouring, it will take you down, and it will take everything around you down, and it is the sinful enemy of the complete world. So the Prabhupada also mentioned about this. So basically, we are all, as we know, Mama Vamshi Jiva Loke, 15th chapter, we are all the part and parcel of Krishna. Natural, in the natural state, we are very pure. But since we have come to this material world, the contact of this material nature, our love of Krishna has been transferred into lust. So how it has been transferred into lust? In the association of the modes of nature. So Prabhupada also gives the example that as the milk transferred, when it is with the sour tamarind, or you put some lemon juice, it will be transferred into yogurt. Similarly, our pure love of Krishna that was there in our heart, that has been transferred into the lust. So we also have to understand what type of lust has been talk about. So lust, when, so Chaitanya Charitamrita gives a beautiful definition about what is lust and what is love. So anyone know that the definition of the from Chaitanya Chaitamrita. What does Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says? If anyone knows, want to mention that? Okay, so Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he says in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tare Bali Kam, Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Prema Nam. So, Atmendriya, when I want to satisfy my senses, or anyone wants to satisfy his own senses, that is called kama or the lust. But if I want to satisfy the senses of Krishna, please can you go on mute? I'm hearing a continuous echo. So, Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Prema Nam. So, thank you. So, whenever we want to satisfy Krishna's senses, that is called prema. So, Krishna, he gives very beautiful definition here. And if you remember, when we were discussing about in 14th chapter about the mode of passion. So, Prabhupada clearly mentions the mode of passion. It is born of the lust, and lust also between the attraction of the male and female. So that is also called the lust, but that lustful tendency can be transferred into dovetailed into Krishna's service. We will discuss how, but we should understand that the attraction between the male and female is also called lust. In the same chapter, when we have discussed in the 16 chapter 1 to 3 verse, when we have discussed all these qualities, Prabhupada has given an elaborate purport on that. The same purport Prabhupada mentions about this. So as a house, I am reading from Prabhupada purport. As a householder should not use his senses for sex life unnecessarily. There are restrictions for household life, even in sex life, which should only be engaged in for the propagation of children. If he does not require children, he should not enjoy sex life with his wife. And it is same case for wife or husband. Modern society enjoys sex life with contraceptive methods or more abominable method to avoid the responsibility of children. This is not in the transcendental quality, but it is demonic. If anyone, even if he is a householder, wants to make progress in spiritual life, he must control his sex life and should not beget a child without the purpose of serving Krishna. If he is able to beget children who will be Krishna conscious, one can produce hundreds of children. But without this capacity, one should not indulge in only for the sense pleasure. So sometimes people have a doubt, even if they are in Krishna consciousness, they will have a doubt, whether they can engage in sense gratification or not. So clearly, when we read Prabhupada books, it will be clearly defined. And Prabhupada also in this chapter also he defined that only for the purpose of procreation, the ability of sex life should be used. If has been used otherwise, that is called lust. So that is definitely defined as lust, and we should not indulge otherwise. But if you want to indulge, we have to produce the Krishna conscious children. So what happens when the Krishna conscious children has been produced? Everyone knows Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the sex life which is not contrary to the religious principle, because that has been used for propagating, for producing the nice Krishna conscious children. Otherwise, it is not called Krishna. It is called definitely the lust. But what happens when we engage otherwise? It happens that it drag you down. So you want to make progress in the spiritual life, but at the same time, if you try to engage yourself in illicit activities, it drag you down to the bodily conception of life. So that happens. So that's better. We should not involve in these kind of activities, because lust will increase. Because Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, right, if I want to satisfy, or anyone wants to satisfy their own senses, that is lust. And that will exactly happen when we indulge in the illicit activities, even in householder life. So sannyasis, vanaprastha, and brahmacharis, there is no sex life. But for householder, even though the opportunity or facility is there, it has not been used other than producing the Krishna conscious children. So that we have got the nice purport from Prabhupada, where he say this, in the self control. Dhamma, that quality has to be acquired by a divine personality or the divine person. So we understand about the lust. So what happens when the lust has been fulfilled? So it is actually, Krishna also says in 3rd chapter, if you try to fuel, so let's say if you have a desire, you indulge, then it will not happen. So what happens with the lust? It is ever fed, never satisfied, Never fed, ever satisfy. If you try to satisfy your lustful propensity, will never get satisfaction. It will demand more. It will demand more. And Krishna says that in the 3rd chapter, if you remember. So Krishna says that in after this verse only he says, so what he'll say that it will which burns like fire. But thus Krishna says in 39, thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy. What is that eternal enemy? Is the lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. So it is, it will keep burning and you will never have satisfaction, and you just come under the control of that lust, and then you just try to do that lustful activity. What will happen? You acquire the demonic quality, you try to satisfy your own senses, and you forget about Krishna. So when you are engaged in satisfying your senses, there is no possibility of satisfying the senses of Krishna. So we just involve in the lustful tendency. So lust also can be also this is one aspect of it, and you can be lustful lustful to any of the thing, right? If you want to so let's say one Prabhuji was giving an example that if you see a neighbor's car, it is a very big car, new car, and then you somehow get a tendency to get a big car, and you just try to work on that, and if you are able to get it, that's good, that is satisfied. If it is not satisfied, and you might, it's not that you are satisfied, you get the desire of getting another car. If you get something, then you also want to get something, so that is transferred into greed. So small, so very subtle, it will transfer into what it is transferred into greed, and if it is not satisfied, it is transferred into anger. But you will engage yourself into more material activities to acquire the things. So acquiring the material things, you have to give more time for doing all the material activities. So where is the time for satisfying the senses for Krishna? So that's how we should understand this lust transferred into greed. How? When we want to satisfy our own senses, and we work according to that tendency of satisfying our own senses. And also I am also remembering the nice pastime. Anyone heard the Samantaka jewel pastime? I think lot of us, right? Samantaka jewel, Krishna in Krishna Dwarika. Anyone remember that story? So we are going to discuss that a little bit. So what happens with the Samantaka jewel? So there is a nice pastime where Krishna, he is in Dwarika. So one time what happens, this Satrajit, he is a resident of Dwarika, and but he worships the demigod, and he has worshipped the demigod, sun demigod, and he has got a most material wealth. So what was that Samantaka jewel is? Samantaka jewel was a very, very powerful jewel. It was having the power of producing, does anyone remember how many gold in one day? So if we worship that jewel, it has a tendency, like it has the capability of producing 170 pounds of gold every day. So you just worship a jewel, and that it produced 170 pounds of gold every day. So this Satrajit has that jewel, and he was very proud of it. So he went to the Dwarika, near the Dwarika palace. He wanted to show off his opulences. So the Dwarika city, the other citizens, they were very innocent, and they were thinking, because the glare of, because he was wearing that jewel, so glare of that money was so high, so much, that they were thinking, okay, because Krishna is staying in Dwarika, that sun god himself is coming to meet Krishna. So they went and informed Krishna, that sun god is coming to meet you. But Krishna, we know he's the all knower. So he informed the innocent citizen, that no, it is not. He's not the sun god. He is the Satrajit, and who is coming. But he has this jewel called Samantaka jewel, which he has got by worshipping the sun demigod. So then, Krishna also advises him, because if he worship every day and he get this much of gold, right? So Krishna went and advised Satrajit that he should give up this Samantaka jewel to the king Ugrasena. So this person, because he is so blind of his when we are lusty, when we are lustful, the good advice doesn't come into our head. So Krishna advised him to give up this jewel to Agrasen, so that he can, maintain it properly. Because if he worship it every day, produces so much of gold, then how, how will he'll be able to manage so much? But being a king, if it's in his treasury, then it will be better maintained and, properly used. So he did not like the advice. He think that Krishna is after his Samantaka jewel. Krishna doesn't require anybody's else wealth. He's all wealthy. So but Krishna, because he wanted to do good, he advised. But this man, because of his greed, because he was greedy, if he gives, then how he is going to produce so much of gold? So because of that greed and lustful tendency, he did not give that jewel to but Krishna or Ugrasena. Krishna didn't want for himself. He wanted to keep it in the kingdom, like with the king. So then what happens after that? He said no. Says Satrajit has a brother called Prasenajit. So Prasenajit, he wanted to show off his opulence. So what did he do? He wore this jewel, and then he went in the forest for hunting. When he went in the forest of hunting for hunting, one lion killed the horse and this Prasenajit, and he took that jewel from Prasenajit. And it has happened, whole day passed and his brother did not return. So Satrajit, he was thinking that my Krishna might have killed my brother and took away the Samantaka jewel, because he came to me and asking for this jewel. I think he was behind my jewel and he has done that. So first of all, he is accusing Supreme Personality of Godhead because of his lustful and greedy mentality, that might be Krishna has taken that jewel. So he told that, and these rumor, somehow it goes from one person to another person, and then entire Dwarika. So some persons were talking about this. So Krishna came to know. Then Krishna decided to, Krishna decided to check what is the matter. So he also wanted to be stain free, because everyone was talking about, like, not most of the people, but some of the people were talking like that because of Satrajit telling them that. So he went to the forest. There he find Prasenajit body and horse body, their dead body. And then he saw nearby, he saw the footprints of lion. So he understood that the lion has killed them. And then he went with some of the Dwarika residents. So he went ahead and then he saw this lion is also has been killed. So who has killed the lion? The lion has been killed by the Jamvan. The is the Jamvan, we know, the devotee of Lord Ram. From that time, Jamvan is in the bear body. He has killed this lion and took the Samantaka jewel. So nearby there was a mountain cave where this Jamvan was staying. So this Jamvan goes into his cave and he gives this Samantaka jewel as a plaything to his child, his son. So this child was playing, but Krishna, and it was a very dark cave, so nobody dared to enter there. But Krishna has told the residents of Dwarika that you stay here, and I will go and find out what is the matter. So he goes inside, and when he goes inside, he wanted to take this nurse. When she saw Krishna, this child, as a nurse who was taking care of him. So when she saw Krishna, she shouted, because Krishna was, about to take the jewel. So she shouted, and then Jamvan came. Then Jamvan was very angry. Why Jamvan was angry? Because he was thinking that this jewel, this is a plaything for my boy, or it's a very valuable jewel or whatever. It should be with me. Why it has been taken by this man who has come? He could not recognize. Jamvan is a great devotee of Lord, and he could not recognize that this is my same Lord, Lord Ram, whom I have served. So in the angry, when we are angry, we cannot distinguish between what is right, what is wrong. So I just wanted to say this pastime, because every aspect I could relate with this pastime of this verse. So when he was they started fighting. So Jamban and Krishna, they both started fighting, and it has been mentioned that the fight has been went on for around 28 days. So they were having a very very wonderful fight between them. So nobody was tired doing the fight for 28 days. And after 29 days, this Jamban was started feeling fatigue and all. Then he might be thinking, who is the one who can give me so much equal fight? There is no one who can give me this kind of equal fight. This should be my Lord Ram. This should be the supreme personality of Godhead. So then he surrendered to Krishna, and he told to Krishna. Then he say about he glorified the Lord Ram's activity, and he tells him that sorry, I could not recognize you. And then he gave away the jewel to Krishna. Also he gives away the daughter Jambanti. As you know, they got married after that. So this is also pastime. What the moral of the story of the pastime, it went on. Then Krishna goes to Satyajit and told that I am not behind your money. This is your money. This has happened with your brother, and this is your money. Please take it back. So the Satyajit was very much ashamed after this. So what we understand from this pastime, first of all, we cannot take a good advice. That too, the advice is coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So as we have in Bhagavad Gita, so many advice. But how many demonic people, if you tell them that, how much of them are able to take up the advice of Krishna? So similarly happened with Satyajit, that he could not take the advice from Krishna, and even though he, instead of taking the advice, he started blaspheming Krishna, or accusing Krishna of having been taken his money by killing his brother, like that. So he was very ashamed. And we also understand that material possession makes us blind. So this he had this Samantaka jewel, right? So with that material possession, he got blind, and he was not worshipping Krishna. As we know from Bhagavad Gita only, what Krishna says, that those who are blind of possessing the material possession, they will worship the demigods. There is a one verse, right? Kama is there, Rita, Jnana, Apritaha. I don't remember the complete verse, but there is a verse in the 7th chapter where Krishna says that I think so. This is 720. 1 second, let me just quickly see. Yeah, Kam is there, te ste rita jnana, prapadyante anya devata, tam niyamanam asthayah prakritehe niyatah savaha. So what does Krishna says? Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desire surrender unto demigod and follow that particular worship and regulation according to their own nature. So here also we see in Satyajit case, even though he's living in Dwarika, where Krishna is called Dwarikadish, he is worshipping the demigod, because his intelligence has been stolen by the material desire of possessing that money. So when we have lot of material desire, or we want to possess material desire, then there is a very less chance we can understand the good instructions given in Bhagavad Gita. So lust. We see the lust and greed part here, and we see the anger part when Jamvanta was not recognizing. He was in very angry mood, and he came and started fighting with the Lord. So that's what we understand with this verse. So I would like to take a pause and see if anyone has any comment on what we have discussed so far.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I listened that Damanta was angry and he fight with Krishna, and he don't know that he is Krishna, and he don't know that he is Lord Ram, and he don't know everything about Krishna then.
Okay, thank you, Tulsi. Do you have any question? Okay, I think you don't have any question. Anyone has anything to share? Any realization, reflection, whatever we have discussed so far? Okay, so let me add some more points here. So when
someone might ask, since you said that our love for Krishna is turned into kama, lust.
Yes, Mataji.
Someone might say, so if we have a lot of lust, does that mean we had a lot of love for Krishna?
No, Mataji. So that no. So that lust, what Prabhupada mentions, what I was referring to from 337, Prabhupada says that so a living entity's eternal love has been transferred into lust. So but when we give chance to a child to start, when they have the senses that has not been so developed, because it's these all things started when ones become young and their senses started to become attracted, as a male become attracted to female, or a girl become attracted to a boy. So if we try to curb, we want to give the child from starting. I think Prabhupada also mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, no, that doesn't mean that, Mataji. So lust, if he has lust, then he doesn't have the love for Krishna, because lust means he want to satisfy his own senses. You want to add anything, Mataji?
No, I was just saying, someone might be saying,
Yeah.
because I have a lot of lust, that means I had a lot of love for Krishna, because it's transformed.
No, Mataji. So, because Prabhupada mentions that I was referring from 337. Yeah, no, that is not true, because
I
we
know that
have,
yeah, one might say that.
yeah, one might say that if when we have more love for Krishna, then we have a we don't have the lustful tendencies to gratify our senses, because we have more love to Krishna, so we will try to satisfy Krishna's senses.
But at
As
one
we
point, we must have had love for Krishna, right?
Yes. There is a verse, Nitya Krishna. What is that verse? Nitya Krishna Prem Sadhu Kabinoy Shravanadi Kare Uday. So every one of us you had this love of Krishna. It is not something that has been imposed from outside, but it is there. We have to make it to come into the surface by hearing and chanting. So that verse is from the Chaitanya Chaitamrita. And also greed, right? I just wanted to tell, so lust, we have discussed the positive aspect of lust, how we can use the lust in the service of the Lord by producing the Krishna conscious children. And the greed, so greed can also be dovetailed in a positive sense. So when we use that greedful tendency, how? So I would like to say one verse: Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati क्रियातः यदि हि कुतो अपि लभ्यते तत्र लौल्यम अपि मूल्यम एकलम जन्म कोटि सुकृते न लभ्यते. So what does this verse says? That the pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even we have pious activities for hundreds and thousands of life. It can only be attained only by one price. And what is that price? Lolium. So the lolium means the greed, transcendental greed. That is intense greed to obtain it. If we want to obtain Krishna consciousness or Krishna bhavna, if we want to become Krishna conscious, we have to pay one price. What is that price? That only price is the intense greed to obtain it. So we want to obtain Krishna's love. So intense greed to obtain it. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay. So that intense greed is required. So that greedy tendency to satisfy our lustful tendency, we can transfer it to the love. So this is transfer into the service of Krishna by dovetailing it. We should be loyal, we should be greedy to know more about Krishna, we should be greedy to read about Krishna more, hear about him. So that's how we can transfer our greedy tendency towards the service of Krishna. And also for anger, as we know, that two-person, we know that who has, there will be more, but as of now coming into my mind, Arjuna, he has used the anger in the service of the Lord. And he has he fought in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And also Hanuman, he used his anger by burning the Lanka, and that's how he used the anger in the service of the Lord. So we can also use the anger when somebody blasphemes the devotee or says something bad about Krishna, bad about Krishna and his devotee. Then if we cannot do, we should immediately leave that place. So or we can use that anger in the service of the Lord. So that's how we can use all these in the service of the Lord. Yeah, Mataji, if you were anything to say, Kitamala Mataji?
No, that's it.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna Mataji, we can say that we have to use the lust, the greed, and the anger towards pleasing Krishna. The way that is described in the Gita, then only we can gain the trust of Krishna and be Krishna Bhakta.
Yeah, so if we, I mean, it is a positive aspect of it. Actually, we should give it away, but there is a, dovetail tendency. We can dovetail it to the service of Krishna. If we cannot do, we definitely have to give it away. And Prabhupada also, thank you, Mataji. And Prabhupada also mentions that while one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but Prabhupada says very, very beautiful statement. But actually, the so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. So why this is the ultimate? Someone may say when I am doing the sense gratification, or so I am getting some happiness. How can you say that it is the ultimate enemy? So how it becomes the ultimate enemy? Because it will keep you bound. So what is this? Real life is called the Methunega Agrahas, shackles of sex life. So, because it will keep you bound. Prabhupada also says, I remember reading in one purport that until one gives up the tendency to enjoy the sex life, he has to come to this material world. He cannot go to the spiritual world. So, unless this tendency has been given up, he has to come to different species of life to do the same business. The business is same, Prabhupada says. So, the material covering is different, but the business is same. So here, because why it is my ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer, because it will keep them bound, and he has to come to this material world, and it will keep him away from the real happiness of spirituality or Krishna consciousness. So that's I wanted to add. Yeah, I think this is I had for today to discuss for this verse. I think we don't have time to start the new verse since it is already 7:44. But we would like to hear if anybody want to add anything about this verse or any realization, comments, anything. Okay, then I think anyone doesn't have anything to say, so we can, I think, Jiva Mataj, is it fine to stop the class at 7:45? Because if we start the new verse, we won't be able to finish it.
Thank you, Mataji, and have a nice night.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for
Hare
joining.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mama.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll offer our respectful prayers. I don't know if Jiva Mataji has stepped out. Vancha kalpa tarubhascha
Patraka Pasindu
Bhai
Devati Tapa Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo
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 Namah.
Namah.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Ram
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama.
Hare Hare.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Hari Bol Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.